Welcome back in to part 2 of Walter Russell's elemental chart and the illusion of matter in motion. And HATONN giving us the understanding and illustration of what Walter Russell is showing us. Right here is another illustration of mind and body, mind centering body, the transient dynamic universe of matter, illusion of effect, the spectrum lights of body, the unreal motion picture universe of thinking, mind, and action, the eternal omnipresent vacuum zero reality of cause, the one light of mind, the real universe of knowing mind at rest. So, just continuing on, this is a universe of rest. There is naught but rest in the universe. Therefore, you can gauge your journey by the amount of non-rest and chaos, lack of order and hypermotion you perceive and reflect from the passing lights playing throughout the wondrous illusion. I like to call it the delusion of the illusion. So, when two spheres come together, they make a vesica Pisces or a biconvex lens, which is accountable for the compression power and heat building, which generates heat from cold. It is one of the two curvatures which the Creator makes use of to convert invisible light into visible light. So, remember, from the vacuum of space, from the reality of cause, from the invisible light to the visible light of the illusion of effect, the spectrum lights of the body. Mind centers body. Wonderful illustrations of the zero curvatures of space. Now back to HATONN explaining it all, what Walter Russell is saying to us as well. This is why the Phoenix Journals are the best source of truth, of history lessons, and spiritual insights on the planet, because it's a collaborative insights from the host of heaven and investigative journalists and scientists on the planet of old who have searched for the holy truths of God. That being said, let's get back into it. Matter, motion, time, change, dimension, and substance have no existence. The light of knowing mind alone exists. There is but one mind and one thinker. The one light of knowing mind is self of God. It is the universal self which centers all omnipresent self-creating bodies of God's selves. This self-creating universe is the mind-imagined body of God and record of God's thinking. We can know God, we cannot know his body, but we can see it. Likewise, we can know man. We cannot know the body of man, but we can see it. What God is, man is. God and man are one. Perception of duality. We seemingly live in two universes, the still cosmic universe of knowing and the moving thought of mind rhythmic wave universe of sensing. We cannot sense the cosmic universe of God's knowing, nor can we know the thought wave universe of God's thinking. The cosmic mind universe of the one light of all knowing is all that is. The vibrating thought wave universe of sensing merely seems. Cosmic God light. The one still light of God is the cosmic light which watches over all creating things at countless points, locatable by man, but invisible to man. Man's senses have misled him into believing in a force called magnetism, which attracts compass needles and lifts tons of steel. These phenomena of motion are due to electricity and not to magnetism, frequencies and pulses, if you will, of invisible circuitry of all that is. The cosmic light is absolutely still. It neither attracts nor repels. So, looking at this picture, see the magnetic white light right there? Electric. You must comprehend the nature and purpose of the magnetic poles of suns, planets, and all other moving extensions of the one light. Likewise, you need to know the nature and purpose of the two electric workers, which interweave the light mirage of seeming motion and dissolve it sequentially for rebuilding. This will give a foundation of knowledge to man which will enable him to see behind the illusions which deceive your senses. The time has come in the history of man's journey from his material jungle to his spiritual mountaintop, when it is imperative that he must live more and more in the cosmic light universe of knowing and less in the electric wave universe of sensing. We must achieve cosmic consciousness, by the way, this time around. We have to use Christ consciousness to achieve a higher state of cosmic consciousness. The secret of creation lies in the wave. All radar mirrors manifest the love principle upon which the universe is founded. Man must know that his power lies in the stillness of his centering self, and not in the motion by means of which he manifests that stillness. He must come to know that his self is God within. Also, he must know gradually the dawning awareness of the cosmic light of God in him, for with it comes an awareness of his purposefulness in manifesting the light and the power to manifest it. Man must know now the universe of God for what it is, instead of what his senses have made him believe it to be. Also, he must know that this forever creating universe, which seems so real to him, is but a cosmic cinema conceived by the master playwright. It is but an electrically projected, spectrum-colored light and sound wave motion picture play of cause and effect, thrown on the black screen of imagined space and time. The cause is real. The effect is but a simulation of the reality. The self of man is cause. His self-creating body is effect. God's universe of magnetic light is static. God's perpetually creating electric wave universe of two moving lights is dynamic. It forever moves. The two moving lights are projected through each other from the static one to create an illusion of the idea that they but manifest. The illusion which manifests the idea of creation through seeming motion is not the idea which it seemingly manifests. Creation is the product of mind knowing expressed in form by mind thinking. The product of mind is not the idea which it simulates. No idea of mind is ever created. It is but simulated by form and motion. Idea is eternal and belongs to God's still universe of knowing. Form of idea in matter is transient, but is eternally repeated as transient form of idea. Positive principle. The foundation of the spiritual universe is stillness, the balanced stillness of the one magnetic light of God. Balanced stillness is the positive principle of stability and unity. In it, there are no negations. Negative principle. The foundation of the physical universe is motion, the ever-changing motions arising out of pairs of unbalanced conditions, which must forever move to seek the balanced stillness of unity from which they sprang as multiple pairs of units. Here it is in generality, and the perfect realization why male desires the female. But this is another illustration of the elemental chart and its opposition of its other element. Here's another way of it reflected in a spiral, showing that everything is one thing that's just a different frequency of the one thing. Unbalanced motion is the negative principle of instability, multiplicity, and separateness, which is this physical universe of electric octave waves of opposed lights. In the negative principle, there is no positive. It is composed entirely of pairs of negations which are forever voiding each other, canceling each other's action and reaction, thus negating each other by never allowing either one to exceed its fixed zero of universal stillness. Quality begets quantities. The still magnetic light universe of God's knowing is an invisible, unchanging, unconditioned, and unmeasurable quality from which visible, changing, conditioned, and measurable quantities spring to simulate those qualities through two-way wave motion. We're going to have to finish this up in part 3. There is no one word in any language to express that quality, so you must use many words, all having the same meaning, but different connotations. These words are mind, consciousness, love, life, truth, desire, knowledge, power, balance, harmony, and law, orderly, natural law. The God quality of the one light is seemingly transformed into quantities by being divided into pairs of oppositely conditioned light pressures of which this electric universe. These divided pairs are then multiplied into countless octave wave units of light pressures and set in opposite directions, directed motions to create the illusion of sequence, change, dimension, condition, and time in a universe where none of these effects of motion exist. The calm sea, for example, is an unchanging, unmeasurable quality of oneness, of sameness and stillness. Upon its calm surface, there is no change, nothing to count or to measure. The moment that quantities of waves spring from